Puppet Master Axis of Evil. I have to admit, the title alone got me curious. I didn't exactly have high hopes, especially given the nature of the last couple of installments. Right from the get-go, it feels like they at least tried to make a competent movie. This is the first one that was filmed in 2.35:1 theatrical format, for all of you film nuts out there. What's interesting about this one is that it takes place right after the beginning events of the original Puppet Master, and even uses stock footage of Toulon's final moments, until right after he kills himself. Then we get the continuation of the story. It takes place in 1939, so apparently it ignores the events of the rest of the series. A good thing, because honestly they had nowhere else to go but outer space. There's a handicapped young man named Danny who was rejected from joining the army because of his health. He spends his days at the Bodega Bay Inn, of course, working on furniture. After Toulon gets shot, Danny comes to see what all the ruckus is about, and witnesses the Nazis leaving Toulon's room. I don't get it. They're Nazis on American soil, they have guns, and they have every opportunity to shoot this kid as they pass him by. But no, for this one split second in history, they decide to be decent people and just let him be. We'll get to that later. Somehow Danny's intuition tells him exactly where the puppets are hidden, and he very intelligently takes them home with him. Thank goodness only half of the Nazi army were looking for them. Don't you think you should just leave them there and find another hobby? The Nazis, for whatever reason, partner with a Japanese lady who plans on bombing a plant where Danny's girlfriend works. This is where the puppets kick in. I don't want to spoil the entire plot, but basically after feeling bad that he can't fight the war overseas, Danny brings the puppets to the plant so he can stop the enemy from detonating the bomb. It's strangely symbolic, using the puppets in order to fight the war on American soil. I have mixed feelings about this one. In a strange way, it's almost on the same level as Toulon's Revenge. If there had been more of the puppets, it could have actually been one of the best entries. It isn't saying much, but they should take the compliments when they can get them. It's also a movie that's hard to laugh at because at its center, it covers a serious subject. More serious than having the devil wearing a Santa Claus outfit or having the puppets fight giant lizard gremlins. The weak point in this movie, hands down, is the acting. Big surprise, right? But it really seems like the actors do everything the opposite of what they're supposed to. The lead Nazi in the movie, Max, doesn't even speak with a German accent.
Seems your men have proven to be quite useless.
I know the producers were strapped for cash, but you couldn't find someone better suited to play a Nazi? Then there's the Japanese villain who speaks with too thick of an accent, even though she claims to speak fluent English.
Well, she met with an unfortunate end.
There's a scene where Danny walks in to find his mother killed by the Nazis. Look at his reaction. I'd swear he's laughing. I'm not sure if these were just terrible actors or if they were directed to be completely ridiculous. It would have shocked me had the acting been decent, but there is such a thing as being over the top, and here, regardless of what the intentions were, it just doesn't pan out. At first glance, the puppets don't seem that great. There are literally shots where, even after being woken up, they don't move at all. Lifeless as ever. The last 20 minutes kind of make up for that, when the puppets start picking up the bad guys one by one. It's satisfying to see Tunneler do what he does best, even if it's his only scene in the movie. And they got a great camera angle of him running toward his prey. That's the last time you'll hear me say great with this series. It was a pretty good idea that the filmmakers set this one directly after the prologue of the first movie, and honestly, if you've been following the series since the beginning, then this one might surprise you. It isn't good, but it's the first one since maybe Curse of the Puppet Master where they tried to put out a decent product. It's hard to give this one a rating, but at the end of the day, I'd give it 2.5 sticks of dynamite.
Why don't you, build a special chair for Hitler? He goes to sit down, and wham! A spear goes right into his ass.